she looked both amazed and satisfied. Spirit guides were always good for ratings. As the woman in the audience nodded, Jeremy noticed a stream of mascara begin to drift down her cheeks. The cameras zoomed in to show it more clearly. Daytime television at its dramatic best. "But how could you?" she repeated. "He was talking about your sister, too," Clausen murmured. "Not just himself." The woman stared at Clausen, transfixed. "Your sister, Ellen," Clausen added. And with that revelation, the woman finally let loose a raspy cry. Tears burst forth like an automated sprinkler. Clausen, tan and trim in his black suit with nary a hair out of place, continued to nod like one of those bobbing dogs you stick to your dashboard. The audience gazed at the woman in utter silence. "Frank left something else for you, didn't he? Something from your past?" In spite of the hot studio lights, the woman actually seemed to pale. In the corner of the set, beyond the general viewing area, Jeremy saw the producer rotating an upraised finger in a helicopter pattern. It was getting close to the commercial break. Clausen glanced almost imperceptibly in that direction. No one but Jeremy seemed to notice, and he often wondered why viewers never questioned how channeling from the spirit world could be timed so perfectly to fit with commercial breaks. Clausen went on. "That no one else could know about? A key of some sort, is that right?" The sobs continued as the woman nodded. "You never thought he'd save it, did you?" Okay, here's the clincher, Jeremy thought. Another true believer on the way. "It's from the hotel where you stayed on your honeymoon. He put it there so that when you found it, you would remember the happy times you spent together. He doesn't want you to remember him with pain because he loves you." "Oh!" the woman suddenly cried, or something like that. A moan, perhaps. Jeremy couldn't be certain from where he was sitting because the cry was interrupted by sudden, enthusiastic applause. All at once, the microphone was pulled away, cameras zoomed out. Her moment in the sun completed, the woman from the audience collapsed in her seat. On cue, the hostess stood from the couch and faced the camera. "Remember that what you are seeing is real. None of these people have ever met with Timothy Clausen." She smiled. "We'll be back with one more reading after this." More applause as the show broke for commercials, and Jeremy leaned back in his chair. As an investigative journalist known for his interest in science, he'd made a career out of writing about people like this. Most of the time, he enjoyed what he did and took pride in his work as a valuable public service, in a profession so special as to have its rights enumerated in the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America. For his regular column in Scientific American, he'd interviewed Nobel laureates, explained the theories of Stephen Hawking and Einstein in layman's terms, and had once been credited with sparking the groundswell of public opinion that had led the FDA to remove a dangerous antidepressant from the market. He'd written extensively about the Cassini project, the faulty mirror on the lens of the Hubble spacecraft, and had been one of the first to publicly decry the Utah cold fusion experiment as a fraud. Unfortunately, as impressive as it sounded, his column didn't pay much. It was the freelance work that paid most of his bills, and like all freelancers, he was always hustling to come up with stories that would interest magazine or newspaper editors. His niche had broadened to include anything unusual, and in the past 15 years, he'd researched and investigated psychics, spirit guides, faith healers, and mediums. He'd exposed frauds, hoaxes, and forgeries. He'd visited haunted houses, searched for mystical creatures, and hunted for the origins of urban legends. Skeptical by nature, he also had the rare ability to explain difficult scientific concepts in a way the average reader could understand, and his articles had appeared in hundreds of newspapers and magazines around the world. Scientific debunking, he felt, was both noble and important, even if the public didn't always appreciate it. Frequently, the mail he received after publishing his freelance articles was peppered with words like idiot, moron, and his personal favorite, government flunky. Investigative journalism, he'd come to learn, was a thankless business. Reflecting on this with a frown, he observed the audience chatting eagerly, wondering who would be chosen next. Jeremy stole another glance at the blonde, who was examining her lipstick in a hand mirror. Jeremy already knew the people chosen by Clausen weren't officially part of the act, even though Clausen's appearance was